Hello friends, I know you did not expect to see me in front of the camera. I know you did not expect to see this kind of content. And this is not the kind of content I want to post on my channel. I'm not thrilled about making this video. I would rather be crocheting or filming another tutorial or working on another crochet pattern. But I feel like I have to make this video. Why? Because it took me such a long time and so much work to build what I have. And by that I mean my crochet business, my crochet patterns for sale on Etsy and Ravelry, and my YouTube channel. A couple of months ago I posted a video sharing that I reached 30,000 sales on Etsy, and I think that speaks for itself. Friends, you cannot sell 30,000 patterns if your patterns are poorly written and stupid. You simply cannot fool that many people. This is not the kind of content I want to post on my channel, but I feel like I have to make this video because I have to stand up for myself as a crochet designer and defend my work, in this case a particular pattern, and I have to share my side of the story. And I'm not going to hide behind the camera. I'm going to do it right here in front of all of you. Friends, English is not my native language. It is difficult for me to speak in front of the camera. It is difficult for me to speak cohesively off the top of my head. For that reason, I have my notes right here, so I'll be looking here quite a lot. It all started about a month ago. On one of my shorts, I got a comment that this person will be running a crochet-along on her channel and that they are going to use my crochet socks pattern. And I thought, oh, cool. And I went to that person's channel and I subscribed because I was curious. I wanted to follow their crochet along. I wanted to see how my pattern works out for other people. And then for a while I forgot all about it. Then last week something reminded me about it, so I went back to their channel to see how the crochet along is going. The crochet along was happening live and I did miss it live, so I watched it recorded later. Now I'm going to play you a clip from it and then I'll share the rest of the story.
The one that I chose to do that I am going to be using for our crochet along is one that it's fairly popular. It's been around for quite some time, and it is by Olga Pavlova. And we have talked about this a few times. Olga Poltava, Poltava. She has a few YouTube videos giving step-by-step instructions. She has a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and I want to say it's in the neighborhood of $5. It's not overly expensive. And I believe she has 3 different patterns on Ravelry. 2 of them are for this perfect fit sock, and the older one, Miss Amber has used, and that's the one she uses. And she said it has a double thick heel, which it gives it more strength. Mm-hmm. This is the basic pattern, which is the one that I got a hold of. And then there's another one that I'm not even sure if there's a pattern for it. It might just be the video, and it's called for chunky foot. Actually, there is a pattern now that I think about it. It's for chunky feet, which is kind of misleading because honestly, when she starts talking about it, she made that pair for her dad, so it's just a bigger size is all. It's not really for heavier feet.
I think it is actually made for broader feet. I think chunky feet is
feet chunky means like maybe thicker ankles, higher calves, things like that. That's why I said it's somewhat misleading in its title, but that's what she calls it, not me, her. Yeah. Deb has made this sock. Amber has made this sock. Several people have made this sock. I'm not in love with it. I'm going to be honest. I'm not in love with it. I struggled with the pattern, although this is the pattern we're going to be following. The pattern itself is written fine. There's no problems with the writing of the pattern. Where I find problems is there's basically no instructions for making adjustments for size. Yes. And in my humble opinion, if you're selling a pattern, you need to have adjustments for sizing, and that is dearly lacking in this pattern. Now, several of us have gone round and round trying to figure out how to make this thing work. And so we're going to give you lots of hints and lots of clues on that, okay?
In the video, Robin is referring to two of my patterns, Perfect Fit crochet socks and crochet socks for chubby feet. She calls my second pattern Chunky Feet, which is not the correct name, but that's okay, little mistakes, no big deal. That's not the reason I'm showing you this clip. The reason is the second part of the video where she shares that the pattern does not have specific instructions on how to adjust for different sizes. Fair enough, she's right. The pattern is written for a specific size, and the instructions on how to adjust it to different sizes are minimal and not specific. Robin says in her video that they will try to figure out how to adjust for other sizes, and they will share it. Well, they will share that information with their crochet-along participants. And that's where my mind was like, oh, you don't need to do that. I know exactly how to do that because I'm the one who created that pattern. I will tell you. I'll tell you how to do it so you can share it with your crochet participants. And this is where I try to reach out to Robin. I went to the profile on her YouTube account and I tried to get her email address. For some reason, YouTube did not give it to me. It kept giving me these screens where I had to choose specific pictures to prove that I'm a human and not a bot. And I kept doing that. And yet YouTube did not give me her email address. So I think, okay, what else can I do? How can I reach out to them? So I go back to her channel and I type her a very long, very respectful comment in which I explain why I did not include the specific instructions on how to adjust for other sizes, as well as I write her this technical part, given her formulas, given her mathematical calculations on how to do it so that she can share it with her crochet-along participants. And I'm going to read you this comment. And it's very long and the second part is very technical and boring, but I think it's important that I read the entire thing. Please bear with me. Hello Robin, I enjoyed watching your video and I got lots of useful feedback on my pattern. My Perfect Fit socks and Chubby Fit socks are basically the same pattern. They are constructed exactly the same. The only difference is the width and the length of the socks. I have been creating and selling patterns for a long time, and in my personal experience, when people purchase a crochet pattern, they don't want formulas and they don't want to do math and calculations. What they want is specific instructions with specific stitch counts. For that reason, I wrote two patterns with two different stitch counts for the same socks, but I agree that they cannot accommodate everyone. To be honest, I did think about including more detailed instructions on how to adjust for different sizes, but I'm afraid if I did, people would have deemed my pattern as complicated and frustrating. This is something that has happened to my patterns before. Many crocheters just don't like doing math. But I will gladly share these instructions with your crochet-along. I do want people to be happy with the projects they make from my patterns. To make the socks longer, simply add more rounds before starting the heel. To make the socks wider, add several stitches per round by working 2 stitches in 1 stitch, making the increases evenly around the round. For example, in row 10, there are 48 stitches. Now I want to increase by 6 stitches. 48 divided by 6 equals 8 stitches, which means I will crochet 1 stitch in 7 stitches, then in the 8th stitch I will crochet 2 stitches all the way around. This increases the total amount of stitches to 48 plus 6 equals 54. Then I work a couple of rounds making 1 stitch per each stitch and see if the width fits me. If I still need to increase the width, I will add another 6 stitches per round. 54 divided by 6 equals 9. So I will work 1 stitch in 8 stitches, then in the 9th stitch I will crochet 2 stitches all the way around. This increases the total amount of stitches to 54 plus 6 equals 60. Let's say that makes the sock too wide and I realize I don't want to increase the amount of stitches by 6 stitches, but I only want to increase it by 3 stitches. Then I do the following calculation. 54 divided by 3 equals 18. This means I will work 1 stitch into 17 stitches, then into the 18th stitch I will work 2 stitches all the way around. Depending on how wide I want to make the sock, the total amount of stitches I will end up with before starting the heel will change. In my perfect fit socks, this amount was 48. In my chubby fit socks, this amount was 54. You might end up with a different amount. The amount of stitches for the heel should be approximately 2/3 of total amount of stitches, and it must be a multiple of 3. For instance, 48 times 2/3 equals 32, so I use 30 stitches for the heel. Or 54 times 2/3 equals 36, which is a multiple of 3, so I can use 36 stitches for the heel. In my pattern, I actually used 33 stitches for the heel, and that worked out fine too. So that's the formula and the explanations on how to adjust the socks for your personal perfect fit. One more thing I want to mention is that the socks will not remain snug and tight once you start wearing and washing them. I hope this helps. Sincerely, Olga. The point that I'm making is that I did my best to reach out to Robin and to provide her with the information that she was asking about, the information that was not in the pattern. I did my best to help them. And this is something I want to emphasize for all of you who purchase my patterns. In each and every listing on Etsy and on Ravelry, I say that if you have any questions, if you need any help with the pattern, feel free to reach out to me. I will be happy to help. And those are not just empty words, friends. I mean it. I give this promise to my customers and I stand by it. On a daily basis, I exchange emails with people who are reaching out to me with the questions about a specific pattern, who need my help, who send me pictures of their work. I do it on a daily basis. I mean it. I provide a lifelong support on my patterns to the people who purchase them, which means that as long as I am alive, you can reach out to me and I'll be there to help you. And if you go to my Etsy shop and if you read through the reviews, you will see the proof of it. So as I said, I watched the first video for the live crochet-along. I saw that these crocheters are having trouble with my pattern. I did my best to reach out to them and give them the help they needed, the information that they wanted. I did my best. They did not reach out to me. I did my best reaching out to them. Fast forward 1 week and another live video goes up. So I go and watch it, and this is what Robin and Cheryl had to say about my pattern.
I don't like this sock one little bit.
Really?
Really? No, it's such a surprise. Ta-da-da. For the most part, they don't fit anybody. I have now made...
It's okay that it doesn't fit as it's written, but when you say call it the perfect sock, you would like some instructions on how to customize it to your measurement.
Just it, yeah.
A little bit more than it actually does. Like keep knitting until it's long enough, or crocheting until it's long enough, or where's long enough too. You haven't told me. And add some more stitches if it's too tight. Well,
how many more?
Like not just
where
doing
do I add the stitches? How do I make adjustments?
And that's exactly what I did. I reached out to these women. I wrote a very long, very respectful, very detailed comment, giving them instructions, mathematical formula, mathematical calculations on how to do those adjustments. To be fair, I don't think either Robin nor Cheryl saw my comment, because if they did, why would they proceed saying what they were saying about my pattern? Just watch.
So I hate this pattern. I hate Olga's pattern. I hate Olga's pattern. And I apologize to anybody who bought this stupid pattern because I suggested it.
So how do you feel about Olga's pattern, Robin?
I hate Olga's pattern. We could throw the thing in the garbage and do something different. Just pop me a picture of whatever your debacle is, or if you manage to finish something. Whether it fits or not.
So long as it looks like a sock.
as long as it's some resemblance of something in the sock family. And it doesn't matter what pattern you chose to play with.
We should have started with booties, like little ones for kids' feet. Something.
Well, there was no sizes for that. Now, was there? You got one size option, and that was it.
Yes. Yes.
Now this is the point where I'm going to defend my pattern. It is not a stupid pattern, and it is indeed a well-written pattern. And Robin can hate it all she wants, but there are many people who completed this project who crocheted socks from my pattern and were able to adjust for their specific custom fit, and they were happy with the pattern. And here is the proof. I love this sock pattern. I'm working on my second pair. Very nice pattern and easy, and the socks are so comfortable. Pattern is very easy to follow and comes out just as expected. Pattern was easy to follow. The YouTube video also helped once I got to the heel, as this was my first time crocheting a sock. This is wonderful pattern. I'm now making my second pair. I love all of Olga patterns. They are very nice and well written. Easy to follow, well written. Easy and straightforward. Really nice customizable pattern. Easy to follow pattern that is also easy to modify to the individual. Just started crocheting these socks. Nice easy pattern. Very pleased with this pattern. Thank you. This is a great pattern by Olga. I'm on the second pair and plan to make 2 more for Christmas gifts because the pattern is so easy and really is perfect fit. Best sock pattern I have purchased so far. Clear pattern with video. Great pattern, worth the price. And these are only some of the reviews from my Etsy shop. You can go to my Etsy shop and you will see many more for yourself. Now, Robin also got deeply offended by the name of the second variation of this pattern.
Not only does this sock not fit, she has another pattern, another K4 pattern in another size. Let's talk annoying, which I bought. And it's one size bigger. Now this all fits. And of course, she calls it fat foot sock, the chubby foot sock. Not okay with it.
Chunky feet.
I'm going to share with you how that second variation came to be and how the name came to be. I'm going to play you a little clip from my vlog style video back when I was making those socks.
Now let me show you the pair of socks that I'm crocheting. I'm making these socks for my dad. I spent the holiday week with my parents, and during that week I crocheted this first sock, constantly trying it on my dad. And my dad was really excited. He was like, "Are you making these for me? Wow, thank you so much." My dad goes fishing quite often, and in wintertime it's really nice to have a warm and cozy pair of wool socks when you are outdoors the whole day. The construction for these socks are exactly the same as my previous pattern. The only difference is the amount of stitches. As you can see, this sock is quite wide, and that's because my dad is an elderly person and he has feet that are plump, and even his doctor told him to make sure that when he wears socks they are not too tight over here, because that can affect the circulation in his body. So yes, I'm making a pair of perfect fit socks for my dad. They are quite wide. I think I will make a tutorial for this pair of socks as well, because not everyone has skinny feet, and there are people out there who might benefit from this pattern, just like my dad. So I think I'm going to name this pattern and the tutorial as socks for elderly people.
So there is a personal story to the second pattern. My dad is in his late 70s. He has diabetes, he has other health problems, and he experiences swelling of his feet. And that's why he was so grateful that I was making socks specifically for his swollen feet, because the store-bought socks were always too tight for him. When I posted that vlog video, I got a comment on it that I really liked, and I'm going to read it to you. Hi Olga, I'm so glad you will continue your channel. I've only made a couple of your patterns but found them wonderful. I plan to make another pair of your socks and would love the tutorial for your dad's socks because I have chubby feet too. And here is my response. Hi, Happy New Year. I'm so glad to know you enjoyed my patterns. The tutorial for the socks will go live tomorrow, but I'm going to change the name of the pattern to Socks for Chubby Feet. That's a cute name, I like it. So you see, friends, there wasn't anything mean or malicious or offensive in the way that the name of the pattern came to be. And I still don't see anything wrong with the name of the pattern. And I think Robin took offense with it because she simply wanted to be offended. She already hated the pattern and she just wanted to find another reason to hate it and to be angry with me. We live in a free country, we have freedom of speech, and Robin is free to express her opinion. And I'm equally free to respond and express mine. Here is what Robin has to say about my pattern.
It's a poorly written pattern. That's the bottom line. It's a poorly written pattern. And when it's a paid for pattern, it should not be a poorly written pattern. I'm sorry. That's the reality.
Thank you, Robin. I hear you. Now let me return the favor and express my thoughts on your crochet-along. It is a poorly run crochet-along. First, when you invite people to join your crochet-along, when you ask them to invest their time to purchase the yarn that you are selling, you really need to do your work to prepare for this event. You need to work the pattern before you even announce your crochet-along. If you have worked the pattern ahead of time, you would have gotten a perspective on whether your crochet skill, knowledge, expertise are up to the pattern that you chose, and whether you will be able to guide and provide pattern assistance to the people who are participating in your crochet-along. You did not do that. Second, when you run a crochet-along on your channel, make an effort to read the comments that the people are leaving you, that the people who participate in your crochet-along, people who watch your crochet-along left for you. You did not do that. And finally, please do make an effort to remain composed and respectful. It is okay to express your dissatisfaction, disappointment, criticism of someone else's work, someone else's pattern, but please do it in a calm and respectful way. The words you choose, the attitudes you express, first and foremost are going to reflect on you as a professional and as a human being. I'm going to run it one more time.
It's a poorly written pattern. That's the bottom line. It's a poorly written pattern. And when it's a paid for pattern, it should not be a poorly written pattern. I'm sorry. That's the reality.
It's a poorly run crochet-along, and that's the bottom line of it. When you run a crochet-along on your channel, it should not be a poorly run crochet-along. I'm sorry, that's just the reality of it. Friends, if you are still watching at this point, I want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for listening to what I had to say. I really appreciate that. This is another opportunity for me to express my gratitude to those of you who purchase my patterns, who leave reviews both on Etsy and Ravelry, and who give me feedback on my work in a kind and respectful way. Thank you so much.